Yeah.
There's different colors up there though, so.
Make sure you got the right one.
See.
Okay,
Guys,
it
Good
is,
day, I have to run, so we'll see you.
okay,
No problem.
it is now 9:09 on October 9th, and I call the meeting of the Benton County Board of Commissioners to order. Got time for bills and payroll?
You want to leave this down? We've already let them alone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're both married. Financially,
I was just buying a house this week, so we're happy. Did she buy it? She did. She built a house. I'm not fairly upset about the neighborhood. It's something. Yeah. She's a teacher in the Shepherd.
I have one question. On Fund 22, it's on page 4. What is bounce rental? Is that the stuff the kids bounce on?
So what is that? Is that for the park?
For community thing.
yeah, 22 big community center, yeah,
It's like,
they usually rent one out for
Their
one of
craft
their
show.
activity days.
They have the craft show at the end of the month and they usually go to his house for lunch.
So is that something we need to own? I mean, I don't know, what's. If that's that much rent, that's pretty pricey.
mhm. And I don't know what they cost to buy them outright, but it might be worth looking into to not have them rented every year.
Bounce houses are like $4,000 to $6,000
They're up there.
if they're gonna be able to hold older kids, you know, not just littles.
That's all I have.
Well, that's a really good question.
We're listing anything all through. I have a motion to approve bills and payroll.
Also move.
Double second.
Then moved and seconded to approve the bills and payroll. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Yeah. Yeah, we need to move on a bit. You, um. Are there any additions to the agenda?
Yes, I need to add that we need to open bids for the real property at 315 6th Street. 316 6th Street, sorry.
Okay. And, do I have a motion?
I'll move, we add that to our agenda.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, set December meeting days.
So 4 and 11. And then usually the next meetings, when you do the budget, so. When is,
We were doing the budget on the 11th this year.
We are looking at doing it anyway.
okay,
I
I sure hope so, because that's what I published it for.
so. Still, the 4th week is the week of Christmas, so. We want to do a meeting on a Tuesday, or do we want to do it the 3rd?
Tuesday, the what, 23rd?
I'll be out of the office that day.
Or we can do it like the 18th.
Yeah,
Thursday, the 18th.
yeah, just do the 3rd week instead of the 4th.
That's fine with me.
Yeah, that'll work.
So we'll do the 4th, 11th and the 18th. And then we won't be back until the 8th of January, correct?
Yes,
So meetings,
unless, I'm
yeah, unless we have to,
active.
that's okay. Going with our normal pattern.
So that was nothing. Yeah, and then do it, because the first is out.
I'm pretty proud of us if we're getting free and in December, that's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
We might regret that as we get into the month of December.
Okay, so
Okay, I sent you the BSO thing. Okay. This is a pain. This BSO thing.
yes,
Yeah,
So if you're all right, I'm gonna ask Jimmy to do the old report. So you can look at it and then I can add it onto the stupid computer one.
that we don't have to print all the pages. for
Yes,
this.
'cause it's-
Yeah,
Oh,
and will he get to the point where he starts coming in and presenting
so
hours and stuff to us and talking to us about what he can do with his life?
what you were doing with Rick was he came in like every quarter, so you just need to decide when you want him to come in there, you can tell him. And he can come. I think he's finally got everything he's supposed to have.
yeah, he's got to be, doesn't have a 1 week training. Coming up, that's all.
Yeah, there's been a lot that has been thrown on
Yeah.
the plate for getting
Yeah,
everything.
so just say, maybe if you want him to come next month. Cause this has to be in before the 10th, so if you want him to come to the 6th meeting,
Yeah, the first one.
That would be
That's
good.
usually the open, that's usually the one we've got the least.
Start meeting, come in for a meeting so we can
talk through how things are going?
I'll tell him. Okay.
I would move that we approve the VSO report for, it would be September hours, correct?
Yes.
Second,
Been moved and seconded to approve the VSO report. Any discussion? All those in favor?
aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Continuing on. Get back. Oh, opening the bids at 316th and 3.
I asked a question while we have a poll. What are we doing with the disassembled Quonset hut in McClave?
Our road and bridge is keeping it and they're going to put it back up on the new property.
Sweet. We were questioning that last night at our water meeting.
Yep. Probably could congratulate our road and bridge people for the awesome job they did on disassembly and.
Yeah, it looks, the
Getting
change,
the concrete out and.
They
They
did.
did a fine job.
Okay. The first bid came in. Gail Martin in La Junta, Colorado. And his total bid amount was $2,001. And then
it's,
we have a bid from Charles Shoup, the mayor. And his bid is at $2,500. And that is the entirety of the bids in this particular real property.
Okay, so. Any discussion? Do I have a motion to accept one of the bid?
very much, but I think we're doing better something. Okay, with Island,
The amount of money that we have into that building, it doesn't seem like it comes anywhere near what we need. But I know that you guys really want to get it off of our insurance and everything to where we're not just putting more and more money into it.
well, it gets it back on the tax roll
Yeah,
and the reduction.
yeah.
And
And they both have plans of putting a business in there, correct?
Yeah, each of them have a plan for the business.
so.
Mayor will put in a parts store and Gail Martin would put in a furniture store. Furnitures and phones.
I don't think we have any choice. You guys want to do? Not that you know what I did.
2,500 is the top bid, right? Wow.
So. Anyway. So, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion, we accept Mayor Shoup's $2,500 bid.
I will second that reluctantly.
Yeah, it's been moved and seconded to accept the bid from Charles Shoup for $2,500. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay. You give me notes from the sheriff?
And I'm gonna jump out, so, but you have, we have an action item.
Oh, we have, oh, yeah, okay.
Ah.
Remember to read these. Next action item, or our action item is to consider approving and authorizing Chairman Stump's signature on independent contractor agreement for accounting services for the Department of Human Social Services. Any discussion? Do I have a motion?
I'll move that we approve your signature on the contract agreements for social services.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve my signature on the bid for the independent contractor agreement for social service, for accounting services, for social services. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. All we have left is the sugar and then the public hearing. Well. Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good for the state.
How are you?
Yeah. What have you got for us today?
So jail. Yesterday had 65 inmates. They weren't charged. So Tuesday, we're trying to hold 65 outside still. I'm sure you guys saw the, bill from last month. We were able to have a revenue of $145,000 from one person, which was DOC. So our current contract with them is doing really well. It looks like we're gonna be able to continue that. As the backlog from all these jails, they don't want anything to do with it. So 5 more jails that are closer have signed up. So we are taking inmates from literally everywhere. We're turning people away right now because we are full. But currently Weld is, Weld and El Paso are keeping us in great numbers. I don't know, you're supposed to text them to me. Monahan is the one who has these numbers, but he had to do a traffic stop before he came. We had a reckless driver.
Not allowed to pass in the ditch.
Yeah.
Especially a tractor, don't pass a tractor in the ditch. Good. It's early.
I mean, they hadn't had their coffee yet, and it was a last minute reaction, so they didn't rear end it. I don't know.
Didn't hear the excuse.
That wouldn't be a good excuse.
Especially with 4 young.
Oh, yeah.
But
You don't make it work. Oh, she's been upstairs.
so I'm not gonna go breakdown on the outside inmates that help pay the thing.
Sounds good.
Today there's 85 inmates.
but you said 65 are outside, right?
I think that, I know we got transferred in yesterday, so that's gonna,
Could be a couple up or down.
Sure. Pretty close to that.
and yeah, and we had court yesterday, so I'm assuming we lost some of ours, gained some of
I
that.
know one of ours, he's left yesterday. I was bond. I have to lose, I don't know what our number is.
He's texting to me. I was assuming I thought we were down to 11 bids.
It was less than 20. Cause there was one time we had like 18 systems.
But we're trying to wait around 65 just to offset some things for you guys, or for all of us, I guess. So we're staying above that number. At times.
What is it?
16 bid.
The reimbursement for first quarter for the courthouse security grant is due. I sent the first. This is the first time I do 2 employees, so I sent it to you yesterday. I have to do a couple of things. It should be coming through today after this meeting. I'll get it done. 2 employees, it's a lot more difficult. You gotta do a lot more math and say a lot of things. Just trying to figure that out for the state, like in the courthouse, they runs all that stuff. So. But not too bad.
If you have any questions, hopefully payroll can help break it apart for
Yeah,
you.
they did. They broke it apart and then it's just getting all the numbers to add it. Be a big number. But I'm short of $1.60. Yeah.
Counting is fun, right?
Yeah, it's great.
Actually love it.
About that.
Probably.
I don't enjoy it, but makes time pass.
Yeah. It'll make you crazy when it doesn't, when it's off just by a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I know we had been on the talk about pay raises, for Adrian Garcia and Samantha Hale. Figured since we're here, we'll go ahead and talk about it, I guess.
All right, the attorney told us just to talk to you guys
I
and
need to talk it through,
That's
so
what
we're
we've
gonna
been
talk it
doing.
through and see if what we can get figured out. I understand overtime is a big issue.
I do want to say, Dean, that we are talking about something now that probably should not be done in this public meeting. Would that be accurate, Rose, that we need to have this discussion outside of this meeting?
Work session then.
Yes, if it's a personnel matter, then yes, or having to do with personnel.
It's not really a personnel matter, but it's talking about pay. So,
So personnel matter,
yeah.
but we could set up a separate meeting to have that conversation.
So if we can do that.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely, and that's what we had hoped for when Doug had sent the response to it, was that we need to just sit down and talk with you and just point out a few things to make sure you're aware of, and then, yeah, move forward from there.
yes, and so Rose, we can speak on it budgetarily without bringing the staff members in, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, you don't need to
Yeah.
bring the individual staff members, but it still needs to not be as open of a conversation.
Perfect, thank you.
So generalizing this topic, we have a pay scale, and that's what we're asking to just, for the last 3 years, since we put this pay scale in its place, we have not increased the number of supervisors, we have not changed anything. So when we promote somebody, this guy was, or I can't say that, when we promote somebody, we just put them on the pay scale. We're not asking to go above or below or over the pay scale, we're just asking to follow the pay scale that we've been following for 2 years. So yes, the people have overtime, but we don't take that into consideration because we didn't volunteer to work it, it was mandatory. So when that was brought into consideration of they have overtime, so we go out, they worked those hours and got promoted.
Sure. So we as the commissioners, when we set your budget for you, which we didn't set the last one, but when the budget is set for you, you are allowed to work within that budget as you see fit for your department. when this came across our desk, I think our biggest question was, we need you to be aware of where you're at in your budget. And to know how this affects your budget, and to know that if you go over your budget, you are personally responsible for it. So that was our biggest thing, is that we're not gonna sign off on something without having that conversation with you and making sure you know exactly where you're at. And you're saying, yes, absolutely, I know, I'm approving this because that's your ability to do for your office, saying I'm approving this and I will be responsible if it throws my budget over.
Okay, and so with that, I know the budget's gonna be over. Well, I was budgeted to be understaffed, so I could cut a staff member to not be over, and that's what I asked the commissioners at the last budget meeting, as Alan will remember, I ask it every year. Is, do I cut a patrol officer? Because you put me at $600,000, which I sent Doug the numbers, it's not, it's $40,000 short of having a full-time person. So we've had 12 people since I've been here, well, we had more than 12, but we cut down to 12 people. Because we do not always stay fully staffed, they budgeted for, on patrol especially, they budgeted for us to be short-staffed. We have not been short-staffed this year.
So that's your decision, Jake, that's not our decision. Once the budget is set, you have to decide how that money gets allocated and make the hard decisions on how you stay within budget. So
So,
we don't make that decision for you.
yes, you kind of do, so whenever it was cut down to 600,000. So I kept 12 people, and I have a signed document that says there's 12 people in patrol. The money does not accommodate 12 people off our pay scale, it hasn't for 2 years. Because we're budgeted to be short staffed, so I can stay short staffed. But what I told the commissioners at the time was, if I cut a patrol cop, I also cut the city of Los Angeles.
You will be here soon anyway.
Correct, yes, for next year's budget discussion, but even without giving the people their step increase, their normal raise, we're going to be over on salaries. We knew that in January, I told you all that in January. You all were aware of that, so I know, I know I am responsible, but I also have the documentation to sue the commissioners if I need to. Because it says you must reasonably fund the deputies, and I choose the number of deputies I have. Well, when we're budgeted, so historically, we've been understaffed for 2 years-ish. So historically, they budgeted for that. This year and part of last year, we have not been understaffed. We have been able to retain our staff, but I'm not able to retain my staff when they have a pay scale that's already below everyone else by $2. We are the lowest paid in southeastern Colorado. Who's first?
I'm sure. Or no,
They're paying 21.60, be 21.
we were on stuff.
Yeah, so I believe we are the lowest. I sent those numbers to Doug from this year. We were the lowest last year, we're the lowest this year. When these guys get their promotion to have the same number of people to operate everything as we've operated for years. The option is, do you want me to cut a patrol slot? Which I will, I'll cut it today. But we will not be able to provide the services we need to. Because money was not allocated where it should have been. And I can move money around, but this year, everything we've spent, you guys have looked through, right?
We've allowed you to spend your budget as you see fit, yes.
In a matter of speaking, you've denied several things. So that's not completely accurate. Because if that were true, you would not be denying things. Which I understand when you do, we're all trying to stay under
You have a
budget.
specific thing that we've denied.
Yeah, I could pull it.
Cause
I don't
I
have
just
it.
off the top of my head, I can't think of a specific thing that we've actually denied. We've had things come across our desk and we've questioned and asked,
I don't
clarification on
remember
things, but I don't have a
specific
specific thing that we've denied from you.
I can pull it for you.
Okay.
But nevertheless, that's where we're at. Is on the staffing end, is the pay scale was approved by the county commissioners. The budget was approved with 12 people in it by the county commissioners. So when the pay scale with the number of people that I had doesn't add up, I would have to cut someone, because as of budget season last year, we've been fully staffed since. So do I cut a deputy down to $15 an hour, or do I cut the position? That was my main question last year, and they said, no, you keep 12, there's enough money for 12 people. When, if you just do the math, there is not enough money for 12 people. There's kind of enough for 10. Off of our pay scale that was adopted in 2021. That's the last time the pay scale was adopted, so poor budgeting is what literally I would come off of. And as you know, we've tried to stay under on lines. We haven't spent lines just to try and stay under this. We've increased the number of inmates by triple to try and help cover everything that's gonna be over. And I know.
Which that doesn't cover it for this year. That helps it for next year, but when we set the budget and how much is gonna come out, we can't, even if you bring extra revenue in that you weren't expecting, there's a huge process that we have to go through in order to reallocate more money. And I'm not saying that can't be done and can't be talked about, but I think our biggest question with this specific thing that you're talking about with raises and stuff was just for us to have that conversation with you, that you know how it affects your budget and that you are comfortable with it and that you want to approve it.
I think one thing too that's killed the budgets is overtime.
Which was, as I discussed in the first meeting, the county's fault. Has overtime been fixed by triple since we got the new program that I asked for in January?
So Jake, your overtime budget is still way over, and that is not
Why?
a county problem, that is a scheduling problem.
Okay, why is it over? We can
Because you
discuss
couldn't
this.
approve it, because we've asked you,
No.
there's some high stuff we've asked you,
Correct?
there's high overtime, and you're like, yes, I approve that, that was these circumstances, you always had a reason why it was okay.
Okay, these did not get pay scheduler approved till July,
That's not right.
somewhere in that.
Schedule.
That
I
one
know
took
when it got, it
forever.
was approved earlier, but it took a while for them to get it installed.
Yes, but we were paying overtime on that time clock every time somebody clocked in 7.5 minutes early. We had no access to see the time clock. So we couldn't approve it. All we got is a time clock receipt when we're done that they had overtime. So then we yell at them. Then 2 more other people will get overtime, which we reported has been happening for 2 years.
Were there consequences whenever you saw that people were doing
Absolutely.
it?
Yes,
Okay.
but not at 7.5 minutes. So they're coming in 7.5 minutes early. Yes, we tell them, hey, you can't come in early, but legally you have to pay them if they do that. That's why pay scheduler, when we implemented this program that I asked for in January to solve the overtime issue we've had for 2 years, it took forever to get it approved. And then I fixed overtime has dropped by 80% from where it was. So the overtime budget was blown in what? It was early.
January for some of them.
Yeah, it was early, and it was all off of the way we paid people. When we came here, we told you that, we fought with that, you guys fought like, I get you were new, but this problem has been going on for 2 years. So you can blame us for the overtime, but I offered a fix a year ago.
So we're not blaming you, Jake, we're just making you take responsibility for your budget.
Well, in some ways, but there are those expenses. It's the same thing with the, I pay the county to do a background investigation that I don't need. But that comes out of my budget, but you guys force me to do it. I can run my own backgrounds. I do every time. I run my people. I have that full capability. I have the same capability as you. Yet we pay the county $200 a person to run a background on them. That I get the background way before you do.
So why haven't you brought that before us before?
I have I have not brought it before you guys. That's a budget discussion that I need that cut, but I brought it before them last year I pay over $3,000 a year to the county to run backgrounds when I can do it myself. And I do it myself. And mine is more comprehensive. You guys don't get anything. If I get my record sealed, you don't get it. I do. So I can actually see how an employee's affected in life without paying $200 a person. So there's several rules that are implemented in the county. It was just like the time clock. The time clock caused us so much overtime for 3 years. That we've been over and over and over, and I've had this discussion with multiple commissioners of, you need to fix this, we need something else, we need something else. When you guys approved, and I'm thanking you, pay scheduler, we were able to drop overtime so astronomically that we were over budget when we got on the pay scheduler. I know we were already over budget. But then we dropped it by, it was 80% or something. Just by, you are scheduled from this time to this time. I don't care when you show up, you can show up 2 hours early. I'm only paying you from this time to this time. If you work legitimate overtime, you put in for it, we'll approve it. So we have a full approval process to get overtime. We have a full approval process for comp time. We have the system put in place where we can save money. But the first 6 months was the time clock and we had no control over it. None. Like, I'd like to say, yes, I can take accountability, but when I have no control over something, how can I take accountability for that?
I do remember those discussions where you said you didn't have any visibility into when people were clocking in until months after. I get that.
And that's not accurate. It was never months after
months.
because we send reports to them weekly.
It was after the pay period, and you send reports to me weekly,
Yes.
that's not always been the case.
I know, we put that in place.
Mhm.
Yes.
So are we asking today to kind of bring this around? Your budget is what it
It's
is.
really not appropriate for you to jump into the middle of
Okay,
this.
sorry.
Sorry, that's.
I think this is something we probably need to be talking about during our budget session.
Which are coming up.
Yes.
And so,
And I agree with that, where I'm stuck is, we have a, so I did lots of Googling, and so did these employees. And we have a pay scale that we give to the employees, this is the pay scale. I take one person out of a position, he quit, and I put another one in that position. He, after so many months, still gets paid at the same rate he did before he took the position. So why did the last person get paid a normal, like, this is what we approved, and this person does not? And that's this person's question, is we are, this one person who did very well and got promoted to a job and is doing the job for now 8 months, didn't get the same money as the last guy who's doing this position. And we give them the pay scale that we approved in 21. We hand that to them and say, this is what you will get paid when you're in these positions. We also have in policy that we haven't changed policy in like too long, but this is how many positions we have. So in like our patrol sergeant, one of our patrol sergeants just quit. I need a patrol sergeant for somebody to approve reports. We're promoting a patrol sergeant to do that job. The essential function has to happen. Well, the old one vacated, the new one's coming in after the application process. But he won't get paid anywhere near what the new one does if we don't follow the pay. That's why we adopted a pay scale. This is what we have to give the employee to say, this is what we paid. But on some people, we follow it and some people we don't. That is a liability thing I don't want to be a part of.
Sure. And like I said, all we needed was to have this conversation for you to say, yes, I understand how this affects my budget, and yes, I'm approving this.
Okay.
That's really all we needed.
And I do think the budget discussion with this board, and I do not think I am being. I am frustrated with budgeting overall, because the last couple of years, the budget has been, we submit it and then we find out what it is at the end of the year.
Yeah.
There's no meeting in between. And
I think it's
and I
a
know,
lot better this year.
yes, so I will be able to understand my budget, we can sit down and have that conversation of, so if we do this, you realize I cut this many people.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to cut this, and I'm gonna have to cut this. But like the jail, specifically on the employees that aren't being put on the pay scale there, is if I don't have them, I can't run 85 inmates. I put 2 really good people in those positions that are like, I don't really care about the money other than I'd like to call it pay scale. But they've been in those positions for 6 months and have not received anything for being in those positions. And are still not complaining as much as they should be.
And I think this year we'll go through and we will make sure we know how many employees you have, what they're paid, any raises that you see that might happen throughout the year, and we're going to budget for all of that and see what it does. And then that way we can make those, like you said, on how many people can you have, how much can the county actually afford?
Yes, I 100% agree with that.
We will absolutely go through that budget with you and help you crunch those numbers and know that we are on point.
Yes, and I scheduled a meeting with Doug. We're going to meet next Tuesday. We're gonna refine some numbers before they get to you guys and see what we need to do to, we don't want to overtax the county. But I don't want to overtax the deputies either.
No, absolutely.
And we're gonna have some changes in the next year, hopefully with the city. And when that happens, we need to figure out how many, if we cut any, if they're gonna be able to do this. This is gonna be a taxing year, of. I don't wanna leave the city of Los Angeles high and dry. If it doesn't work, I'm hoping it does, but. That's a we'll see thing, so there's gonna be a lot of those things that I'd like to, that me and Doug will discuss first, to where we have at least a baseline to give to you.
Perfect.
Really.
Yeah, I was dealing with something, so.
We heard.
It's been handled so good, but. You know, it's bad when I'm off duty and out to a meeting in an unmarked car with none of my stuff and I still pull you over.
Just like, oh, no.
Anyway.
So do you have any questions for us?
Vehicles, that's always a bad subject.
He just wants to get right in it, all right.
So, one of our deputies, one of Lincoln County's deputies, and there's one more county, all hit furniture this weekend. So for some reason on I-70, there was a report of 4 desks in the road.
Chair.
50, we got a chair. But somebody just lost furniture all over the state of Colorado, apparently in the middle of the night. So one of our deputies hit a chair in the middle of the highway, in between here and Hasty.
I hope that was at night.
It was a
Yeah,
night.
yeah.
It was a night.
It was a boat chair, so it wasn't like that.
Yeah, but it got lodged underneath the car.
Still
Yeah, it was-
big enough to ruin a radiator, so.
Yeah, so we're gonna have an expense of a new radiator. We'll see if it reaches the insurance deductible or whatever. I seriously doubt it, but it did hit the radiator and lodge itself right underneath the radiator. Yeah. So, it was investigated, came up it's not the deputy's fault, it would have been us or a civilian that hit said chair. But furniture on the highway is a new thing. So we have that, then the hybrids was a bad experiment. One of them was running okay, the other one in and out of Tri-County Ford constantly.
It's been in the shop for a long time.
Yeah, it's.
So could we list those for sale and replace them with something that would be better?
So as long as we replace, we can do something, but I literally have no cars right now,
Yeah,
so.
we need better.
These to talk about for budget season. And
Yes, and we're gonna discuss it and see how to, how many to replace.
Need to hybrid that in because there's gonna still be, I believe some cars that'll be coming from
Yeah,
elsewhere.
Yeah.
At the same time.
that's
And
part of the
until
reason.
we have them all rotated through, well, we're gonna have to.
And
hybrid.
currently, that's our plan is besides that hybrid,
You don't say hybrid.
I called Eagle on these hybrids to see if, because we bought the one spare, we have that one spare car in. But the chair car went down, so we've had deputies sharing for 2 months now. Because hybrid's been in the shop for a decade.
How long is the chair, or how long will it be down?
It's already.
I think so.
Yeah, we got it back yesterday, so.
You got it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we took it to Ron and said, please, as fast as you can. It was one of our canine vehicles. We have 2. We run 2 dogs, so we put him into the other canine vehicle, so they shared that car. Which was scary. Yeah, the other canine vehicle has almost 200 and some thousand miles on it, and she is in shape. So we try and baby it as much as possible and to keep it from blowing up. We keep him around town all the time. We try not to send him out in the county hardly at all. We just don't, that car is not gonna make it much longer. But we do have several cars that are not gonna make it much longer. But. Do what?
It's just another.
But currently all car approval go through Monahan. So whenever they break their car, he calls around, sees what's the cheapest place to do it, and we take it and try and get it fixed as soon as we can.
Next month, we'll have some change to that.
We have
Yes.
hired a mechanic for the county. It's taken one of the road and bridge positions. That made it available for us, and so we will start having all of your maintenance, everything will be internal, so that will drop your.
That'll be it.
And if somebody that we feel like,
From me.
It's not like anything. Wait, are they a convicted felon or anything?
actually, no,
Okay, good.
no, it's.
It is contingent on passing their
Full time?
background check, so.
Yes.
That actually makes sense. He was being a little
Funny.
funny the other day here.
But if we can get, if we do this lease program, that'll be the other thing is the lease program. If we do that, our maintenance will be done through Tri-County Ford for anything that is,
Under warning.
under warranty.
Well, and all those numbers, I had them build in a comprehensive 5-year, 100,000 mile warranty on it. So literally the only things we would pay for are regular maintenance parts, right? So stuff that'll wear and tear no matter what. That's the only thing we would.
Feel like that's gonna work mileage wise.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we'll be all right.
My concern when I was looking at that is, are we gonna be able to stay within that mileage?
Well, that's the best one they could give us. So it starts out with a 3-year, 30,000 mile, 60,000 mile warranty. Normally we're running about 15,000 miles a car per year. But we do have
Your
them.
road deputies put less miles on their vehicle than I do.
So, yeah, some, and that's on average. So most of our cars stay in the city, like, I'm doing with our county cars, Dupree, he puts 30,000 miles a year on.
Yeah.
But his is a newer car, but I would assume if we open up them all and they don't have a flying piece of, we have to tow it from wherever you drove it. 30,000 would probably be our average.
And so, you know, black and white conversation, our 2020 Explorer, that's the only Explorer we've bought brand new since we've been here. We are in the 5th year of it. It's 120, I want this 130,000, right around there is where it's at. I have to double check, but this is the first year that we're really spending money into that car. So looking at it from that perspective, if we continue the same thought process with new cars, 5-year warranty, right around that 100,000 is when we'll be at that 5 years. So it'll be kind of the same thing about that 5th, maybe even if we keep it for 6 years, when we'll start paying, we'll have to pay on that car. So we should be sitting pretty doing that program.
We'll have to be super careful, because if you go 20-30,000 miles over what that agreement is, then we will be paying that out at the end of that 5-year agreement. It will come back and bite you in the butt. So we are really gonna have to keep an eye on that.
Are you looking at it as like if you were to lease the car, is that what you're talking about?
No, because it'll be that with you too, because the way they do it, they project that in price of the vehicle.
So you're thinking of, like, if I were to go and lease my truck right now, right?
Right.
They
still
do,
put a
they do
limit
the
on
3
it.
years, yeah.
That's how they figure the value.
So we're not,
Not.
the leasing with Ford on a government program looks more like a buyout, if you were to buy it.
Okay.
That's more how it works. So the mileage side of it is strictly for the warranty.
Okay.
That's the
And I
warranty side.
understand the warranties on
Yeah.
them, that you can't go over the 100,000.
Yeah, it's a,
Tell me that is not tied to that lease
No,
agreement at all.
We don't have penalties, we don't have mileage penalties.
Okay.
and it is a fixed rate. Yeah, it's fixed. So we pay this much when we're done. We own it. The way we did it was the dollar buyout. There's $10,000 buyouts and $100,000 buyouts. So that we can set that. But that's one thing we want to meet with Doug on, is to refine that as well. Is, do we want a $5,000 buyout? So it'll make it cheaper per year. Do we want how much buyout do we want? I know we were able to afford 10,000 a year on the Eagle County cars. So in 5 years, we want to do, instead of an Eagle County car, we do a buyout on our current cars. So we're gonna work with Doug on that to see if we can get that hemmed out, to not sit here in a meeting for a budget meeting with us would take a very, very, very long time.
We already have planned that we're gonna have multiple, and
Yes.
it's gonna be, you're the only person that gets like a 3-4 hour allotment of time.
Yes, I know, we just have a lot of budget. So, if we'll meet with Doug, hopefully he's planned quite a bit of time.
I met
The whole day.
the afternoon, yeah.
We'll do a pizza break, don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, I have early morning stuff, and then they have meetings they have to go to, and at that time I can come over.
But I'm gonna route back to your original question. Next year, our plan is we will take the 2 Eagles, the hybrids, sell them, replace them with 2 Eagles. We put that in our budget. It is not the best move we can make because they are way newer than some of these cars. But I believe we're going to have to end up there just to not have to replace those batteries.
In theory, we should get
Make
a
it
decent amount of money back, and maybe not offset completely, but.
How much do we make on those cars?
So the 16 Tahoe that needed a tranny, the 13 Ford sedan that needed a tranny, and then we had the 2012 Charger that had 200 and whatever thousand miles on it. Those 3 cars we made 80,000, I think, is what it was. It takes nuts.
And then the Racer made like.
So we made 4,100 on the Charger, 38 on the Tahoe, and just under 1,200 on the sedan, on the Ford sedan.
Yeah, 91.
And then, yeah, 91,000, 9,100 is what we should find. Um,
And then the Ranger.
and then the Ranger, I won't have a for sure number for 10 more days, I think is how much longer it's on the auction. About 10 days, but right now it's at $1,300.
So we'll maybe.
Those put together will buy a Eagle car.
Yes, those three.
Now,
And
and
Purple Waves,
is the same.
do what, say?
Have they kept their Eagle County, they kept their.
Yeah, they haven't changed on us the entire time we've been doing it.
They went to 11 and then they sold us for.
But it also depended on the mileage too.
Yeah, so we'll see. It depends on what we buy through them, what type of car, what. So it used to was 10,000 a car or less. Now it's 10,000 or more depending on, because right now they're trying to cycle out these hybrids because after we bought them, they're like, yeah, we realize these are bad. Well, thanks, you sold them to us. It's nice of you, but no, they have been great partners, so I don't wanna they have no interest in selling us another hybrid. They're sending those to the metro agencies, and now they're buying the turbo, just like we were buying. So with that, Eagle the only thing we're gonna be able to get from them more than likely is Tahoes.
At least for the next year or two.
Yeah. They did switch they're with Fords again, just like us, but their hybrids are like they did a 5-year plan. And in that 5 years, they started losing batteries. Well, we bought one at 5 years, so, and like I said, one of the hybrids is actually fine. We've had almost no issues with it, and the other one is a complete piece of trash, yeah. So.
Sometimes you're not able to wait.
Yeah. So, other than that, I don't think we have any cars that are down.
200's gotta go back to the shop, we'll figure that out.
Something happened yesterday.
I think I got it reset for now, but I think it's having a computer issue, an ECM issue. So, but I was able to hard reset it and it worked yesterday, so we're gonna cross our fingers and see how long it works for. And we have the one hybrid in the shop right now, which I still don't have an answer on exactly what the problem is. And then, other than that, just maintenance stuff, nothing I can do, so.
Is that most of your question?
There's mine.
Yeah, perfect.
No darks in the dark, we'll figure it out.
If we're clear or got everything talked out on the vehicles, have you gotten any bills from Core Civic on the meals?
No.
We're supposed to start doing it monthly, but does that come to your office or does it come straight here?
I think
I think it comes to you first, because you guys have to go through and you have to check it to,
I don't think it comes to us.
okay.
I think it comes here, comes back to us, so, and that's one thing, virtual, who, Steven.
Oh, yeah.
We'll call him and see if he can jump in the middle, I don't know what Virgil finished,
Yeah,
So
he
you
had
had
it
to
all
start
in
in
now.
November with the monthly
Oh.
billing.
that answers the question.
Yeah.
So they're gonna start in November, just what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what he said last time he was here. You know, November is when those.
and we'll have them switch it to us, just, I do think it is coming to you, back to us, back to
It might
you.
be going back and forth.
So it might be easier, just send it to us, we'll make sure it's right, yeah, send it over.
I think our
Um,
financial
that'll be
office
the
is
idea.
really well with your office, we'll make sure that stuff's
Yeah,
where it needs to go and things are checked and.
yes, the two people doing that are doing amazing together. I believe we are looking forward, like, I think things have improved drastically. They have improved everywhere, so I do think that's gonna help, but I do know the remainder of this year is gonna be hard, and not just for the sheriff's office, but for the county. Hence why jail is full.
Isn't keeping it full.
And it will remain that way. Just to help as much as we can. Any other questions for us? The roof leaks.
Brand new roof?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might as well just, I'm just the man, so the roof leaks.
Have we contacted them? Don't they have those?
You guys have seatbelts? You might wanna.
I know it's not in the computers or anything like that.
So far, no.
Don't we have a warranty? The leak that we know of, the leak that we know of right this second is above holding 2. So there would be, the only electronical stuff, in theory, depending on exactly where the leaks come like through, would be like.
Hopefully it's warranty covered and. Possibly, because that might be under the tin roof. We replaced this side, not that side.
This. That would be under the tin roof, that would be where that little cubby.
So it's probably, I'm hoping they can seal it on the outside, I'm assuming the way the building's built is it's got a flat roof and then it goes up into this tin thing, cause the building always leaks. So instead of fixing the roof, they just put the tin hat on it. So we know the roof underneath the tin hat leaks. Hence the tin hat, so, if water is running from there underneath it, then that's where we've got our leak, but.
Just put another 10 hat on
Yeah, we can put a second hat on it.
Bigger hat.
Yeah, so it's either that or our tin hat is leaking. And if it's leaking, we know the roof underneath it leaks. When I found the paperwork, that was done in 2002. 3, 4, 5, 6.
It was right after they completed.
Yeah, it was almost
Yeah,
immediately
a lot of
after.
issues, I
We may need
remember
to get
that.
some bids and budget to just maybe fix that all together instead of just putting Band-Aids on it.
I think that would cost an exorbitant amount of money because just from my looking at it, I don't know if every building code was met when they put that hat on. So let's avoid that for today, and I'm gonna see if they can fix it with silk.
So you fix it or someone else? Have you got someone that twice?
More than likely, we're just gonna do it. So right now, we have it's not on paper, but that's something we're gonna present is a maintenance agreement with Eric Daniels. To where I can just call him and say, I have this small issue, can you come fix it? But we are also working with Chad of, if it's small enough and he's willing to take it, we call Chad and say, hey, can you take this first? If he says no, then we call Eric and say, just come fix this $100 issue. We're not going like $5,000. But I think it's under 3, we don't have to bid, or under 5.
Under 5, yeah, under 5.
So it'd be under 5, then that's more than likely what we do is under 5, we just call you, come fix it. Just because he has been very responsive. Everything we've asked him to come fix so far was within a day, he's there and he's fixing it. So that kind of. Like, for safety reasons, like if. For one, we had a light come down, they came the same day and fixed it. And it didn't come down on its own, it was a wonderful constituent of our jail. But he was able to come fix that, so that's what we're looking at as a maintenance agreement with them to say, when something breaks catastrophic, come fix it now. Or non-catastrophic.
Well, and if it's within the budget, the maintenance portion of the budget, I don't see what would be the issue, but it would be up to them to decide.
Well, I believe legally you guys do.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
We did an agreement, yes.
Yeah, so I will bring it before you, if that's the route we take. We have done it once in the past with, Seco. They had an agreement, we're also looking at an agreement with Seco for our poo-poo pumps. So, those things, they're coming out once a week.
See what I do?
No.
You're welcome.
I named your lake.
But we haven't had a lake at the golf course since they started coming regularly maintaining that stuff and cleaning the whole grate system and.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
You know that's, the system is just gonna have to be regularly maintained.
Unfortunately.
It just has too much that is thrown at it, yeah.
And it's poorly designed. I believe they designed it off of Core Civics. Whenever they built the building, they designed it to match Core Civic, and then Core Civic's like, yeah, this sucks, and then they replaced all there and made it real nice. So, we just have an older design. I do have them looking into a design build that we're gonna try and grant to not flood the golf course. But if we can get a new design similar to Core Civics, I think we'd stop having to maintenance it once a week. Sure. Which I think in the end would save some money.
Absolutely.
Other than that, we've had very little jail issues. We're able to keep the jail staffed. For the most part, I think we're down 2 now. Um. Dispatch, we've been able to remain full for the most part. We've had one down for a decade, but,
How many do you have in dispatch?
So we're gonna change that. Cause right now Stephanie's a dispatcher and like I was talking to him, she's not, yeah.
So what is the number that you would like to keep in dispatch, not having any other?
Six.
Okay, that's what I.
Currently we run 112s, but historically the reason for 6 instead of 5, so we run 7 plus. Long time, when we first started in 2019, we ran 5 dispatchers and 2 secretaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we
First year.
cut a secretary to add a dispatcher because we couldn't keep dispatch full. And that is the biggest problem we have with dispatch is it is a hard position to fill. As most people go in there and like, oh my God, I'm not doing all this. Like at once, no. So we have a lot of people that take the job and then go to the jail. Because dispatch is a complicated beast. So, yeah, so, and that's statewide, nationwide probably, to our dispatch is a hard position to fill, so we keep one extra to. Usually our dispatchers are a very cohesive team, so they'll tell us, in a couple months, I'm quitting. Okay, we start finding more. But with the system we've had, we've never run at it since. When we added the dispatcher was in 2020, because we cut it. We lost 2 dispatchers. We had a nightmare. I dispatched for a month, Wake dispatched for a month. So we were able to get it done, but we lagged everywhere else. We put the extra person in and so far we've never had an emergency coverage dispatch. And that's 6, remove Stephanie.
Yes, no, I understand.
Yeah, which I did not do in the budget.
We gotta figure out where to put her at.
I would put her in patrol, but sheriff would be the most, without creating a new budget, I would just put her in sheriff, that's where Jay and I are at.
You
And
don't
that's
have an
the-
administrative portion, so yeah, it's.
No, but like the maintenance budget that covers her office is in sheriff.
We can put her in court security because she.
No, that is.
Yeah, no, she's the supervisor.
Currently, yes, she is the supervisor of court security because she comes over here a lot.
2's enough. Not
Now, we can't fund sort of court security in any way other than with the grants.
Yes, so it's better to keep that one separate, so where I haven't moved it there yet, but I will move it before our meeting. I'm probably gonna move her over to sheriff, that's where it makes the most sense, she does the most work for the patrol division, she does our paper service, our. Concealed weapons. Budgeting, logistics, same thing as Jen and I, so.
Did I hear you just say she does all your work?
She does do a lot of work. Yeah, she's a worker.
Yeah.
But she does track our budget spending and next year we have a plan to be able to fully track everything. With all the bills finally coming to us, that last several years, we spent money that we didn't know we were spending. So when we were tracking it, like, we're under. Where did we spend this? I've never seen it, but that's when the bills are coming here, getting approved and then sent, but we never knew that was even happening. The biggest example we have was that, tip 411 that nobody used. We paid $8,000 a year for it, and we didn't know we paid for it. We didn't even know we had it. But it was paid for over here. They never sent us anything. Finally, tip 411 reached out and said, we're upping our price. I don't want your service. And it was not being utilized at all. By countywide, it was not being utilized. So we cut that 2 or 3 years ago. When we found out, we paid for it for several years.
What are we doing with the mini split deal? In the old server room?
I don't know that we ever got an updated, cause you,
You got an updated invoice, Eric sent it out like last week. I think. Sent it to everybody. Where it takes the 2020 thing on.
Yeah, he did reset the 20 ton to a different thing. I do remember.
yeah, I,
You can check to see if I actually said it to everybody or if this is said it to me.
And how
So it came in
Jennifer.
Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, good thing. I'm pretty sure it was everybody.
And so it was approved, you just had to fix it, correct?
Originally, that's what was my understanding of it.
This is for the Barlows.
No.
No, this
This is for the server because it's hot and we needed to keep it clear insurance.
Right.
So the little one.
So the door locks.
The one over by,
Oh, you're talking about
this
this
system.
Okay.
What system are we cooling? Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Door locks and.
The control.
Control system,
Whatever
yes.
it's called. And apparently the control system was hot and therefore.
Yes.
Yeah, I got told that it would cost a minimum of 200,000 to replace that if it actually burnt out, so that's why this.
So we have fans on, can we?
So they did the repairs too good on the patches in the ceiling. So we do have a fan in there, but it's not cooling the way it was before.
Oh,
Because
okay.
they fixed what they needed to fix, so.
Yeah, so there's no airflow, so if you
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah, so. Really good as well.
And that system is the system that the water peed all over when it rained and it's had a hard life. So it may be limping for another couple of years, but I don't know how much longer it's going to.
I'm just picturing like all the other, when we talk.
When did we install it?
Huh?
When did we install the control system?
Couldn't tell you.
Had been before.
Yeah,
It had to be before you, therefore I would say it's probably out of date when you look at it.
Yeah, it's old, we know that, but it's not currently, we replaced enough parts on it, it's not currently something I want. I think needs replaced this year. It is our second oldest system, what we don't understand is our oldest system we need to replace is the radio consoles. So how we send out calls, the system. Well, the program is Windows Me, so that's 2000. The system it's on is an XP. We can't upgrade it and we're figuring, so we budgeted for it. Thinking, let's get a new computer, we'll get a nice one, $1,000 and we'll see what the software costs. So we price out the software can't come without a computer and that's 200 grand. So, yeah, we were not anticipating that.
Yeah, that system technically isn't supported now, but we've been able to work around it, but as of next year, from what we're being told, won't be supported at all anymore, so we're trying to figure.
Well, they're even
How we're gonna work that.
taking away both any support for the Windows and yeah.
Yeah, there is no support.
Yeah, so the Windows side, yeah, we don't have support on that, but with Digicom, they've been able to help us figure that in, so.
But that is something we're looking into is to see if there is an option that is less expensive. For a program, but it is Motorola software and anytime you put, a law enforcement tag on something, if it's a law enforcement pair of pants, it costs double what the normal pair costs. So we're trying to figure out how to cheapen that up a little, but that is something that we're going to have to replace soon.
Or not.
Sorry. Well, do you have any other questions in 13 minutes? I think that's all we have to report to. I texted him, haven't had a chance to call. Right now, the jail, and thank you, the jail is operating well with the staff we have. So, as you guys know, I don't know if you guys have it, but the staffing surveys that we done, the minimum staffing was 22. I looked at it yesterday just to see, and Pueblo County's the one that said 22 should have the minimum. At 22 staff, Fremont was astronomical.
Yeah, they want like 26, 28.
Yeah, but we had 4 done, Pueblo's was the least amount of staff, currently we are doing it with 18. And it is functioning well.
Yeah.
The one position we cut was the 19th, which was the maintenance guy, but Chad, give the man a raise, please, he made our building look amazing.
Oh, they did a really good job, they were over there doing some work.
So they cleaned up things that have been sitting there for decades. So, I mean, they did phenomenal. So, yeah, Chad Holbrook, he had him over there. they did really, really well. So with the 19th, we went ahead and cut that one down to Chad. But he's been doing great work for us. That's all I have.
The inmates going into RDC and we're rid of platform. I get excited when I read them being.
Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Those things that I don't need notified anything.
Oh, so are we doing the split thing or what are we doing?
Oh, yeah, well, I'm pretty sure. I evidently missed it. I didn't.
Yeah, okay, so I think we talked about it.
Yeah.
We have to pull that.
All we wanted was the numbers straightened up on it and.
Yeah.
Okay, you know. I'll
I
tell your life.
was gonna make you, but.
Well, I was joking with Jake about it. I'm like, we're gonna get a 20-ton cooler for 6,000.
23.
Yeah, why are we questioning?
For like a 100 square foot.
That's 23 tons.
All right, I'll let Eric know to look out for that signed deal. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So, I will. We should take a quick break, real quick. And, wanna pause the recording. And when we come back, we will go into the public hearing for the Clay School zoning.
We are on recess. Resume.
Okay, at this time, we resume the Bay County Board of Commissioners meeting. We got a couple of minutes yet before we can go into the hearing. That's time for 1 minute.
One whole bit. I just figured I could get it out.
I just thought it was Ellen's chair again.
Okay, it is now 10:30 and we will adjourn or pause the commissioner meeting, the public session of the commissioner and adjourn to the public hearing or move to the public hearing for the Clay School zoning. We need, Rose, did you have something you need to bring up at this time or?
You all can open up your public, so I just wanted to walk you through because you don't do a lot of these rezones. So I just wanted to walk everyone through the process. If someone can tell us what happened at Planning Commission, that would be really helpful. You will open up the public hearing. You'll hear opposition and support if there's any. At such time, you'll close your public hearing, and then we'll put some notes on the record just so you have a good record. And I'm happy to do that after you close the public hearing. But at this time, I guess I just want to make sure, this did go before Planning Commission, and are they recommending approval or denial?
So quick notes version, the Planning and Zoning Commission did identify earlier this year that the property that the Clay School currently owns, where the new school will be constructed, has always been zoned as agricultural, and there are no agricultural activities going on there. So we recommended that they rezone to multi-use. We did have a hearing in August. There was discussion, but no opposition. So we did recommend on that date to the commissioners that Our recommendation was to approve a rezone to multi-use district, and that is that.
Okay. And then Linda, if she could attest that this was published in the paper with at least 15 days advance notice, that would be helpful before you open the public hearing.
Yes, it was,
Okay. Um. Any other comments
Well,
regarding the zoning?
you'll open the public
Oh.
hearing and then open the comments. Debate.
Well, okay,
We opened it already?
I thought we had opened the public hearing, but
You could take public comments at this point.
Huh?
You can take public comments at this point.
okay.
Are there any?
Hearing none. At this time, we adjourn the
Just close.
public hearing for the McLean School zoning and resume the commissioner public hearing or public meeting. So, all right.
So, Mr. Chair, if I can, I just want to put on the record Rose Puglisi County Attorney, in light of the fact that there was no protest filed and that Planning Commission did recommend approval, this will require a majority of the Board of County Commissioners to approve it. The Planning Commission has found that it's consistent and in accordance with the adopted plan and that it will facilitate schools in the area. Those are your two criteria for the commissioners. The Planning Commission would have looked at that and recommended approval. And then for you all to approve, you would have to feel that it's consistent with your adopted plan and that it will facilitate school property. And with that, you can vote to approve. If you don't feel it meets the two criteria, then you would vote to deny. But otherwise, the record has been set, the notice has been given, there's been no public comment for or against, and it meets the criteria. And so with that, you all can have discussion and a vote. Thank you.
Have any discussion regarding that?
Well, I want to thank our zoning and planning commission for all the work that they did with putting together the hearing and the research on all of this. We really appreciate you all.
Thank you, it's a learning.
I'm sorry, you guys had to be the guinea pigs. I know. But now we know.
All right,
So.
do I have a motion?
I would motion that we accept the recommendation of our planning and zoning commission and that we approve the application for rezoning for the play school.
Second.
Okay. Then moved and seconded to approve the Benton County Special Review Use Permit application. Any further? Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the application?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you for the signature page on that one, it's on page 2. I think the signature page is on page 2.
Okay. Sign there. Fine. Oh, that was land use, okay. All right,
And I think you're below.
on then number 4. And we need a signature from the planning commission also. Number 3, I think it is. That what it indicates to you?
I didn't know what it was about is.
I would look up, do my notebook. Let you guys just remember. What day
From when?
When we had that other public hearing.
Oh. That was on August 21st.
All right, so we can take care of that one little people.
Yes, okay. And then this is the plant.
This one you want the black and,
It's being that Sharpie.
Hmm.
Sharpie.
yeah, I don't.
One of that.
This has been my first one. I did not know what I needed. Forgive me.
So after, the meeting, the Play Water is here to answer the email that you sent yesterday, and our state school is here, so maybe we can just.
Would love to have that conversation. I need to know how it works.
Daryl got the answers to the things.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but after the meeting.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's good after the.
Portland's rezoning Rex Schreier
No, I
property,
got one of those.
right?
It's
The Rex Schreier, because we paid for two different applications.
I went for the first one for the thing, and then the other one I had printed up that has little red thing on it, that's,
Wow.
and I have it on a different page.
So we don't have to have another.
For the subdivision exemption was a different plat.
We don't have to
Yeah.
have another hearing for that other property, right?
No,
Correct.
that one's just a subdivision exemption, it should be a permit, not
But
a
it-
hearing.
But it has, I thought it had to be rezoned.
We included it in ours.
Yeah, and we turned in everything on it and paid for it too. Two separate.
We just did it as a public note.
So a rezone requires a separate process than a subdivision exemption. So you can't lump it in one. You have to do them separately.
So we need to have another public hearing on the property we're subdividing in the near future.
Well, we're,
If the zoning is not accurate, then yes, and it's not
It
part of
is.
this application.
They did.
we did
fill out
this
an
all
Application and it was,
back in July.
yeah. Um,
So 2 rezone applications?
yeah,
Yes,
Okay, did both go to planning commission?
yes.
yes,
And they both were approved?
yes.
But only
Yes.
one was noticed for today, but not the other?
Apparently.
I did,
I don't,
all I have was the one application, I don't have a secondary application.
Okay.
So I have one application for rezoning, and I put that one out to public and other folks like that, I've never received a second one.
You check our emails, Brad.
yeah, we
Okay.
turned them both in.
So I would track that down. It's the public hearing notice requirement that needs to be met for that second rezone.
Okay.
I mean,
No.
we did all that. Cause I wouldn't want to subdivide his property without it being rezoned. That was,
Rose, may I address you, if that's okay? I know this is your public meeting. There
Just
is, I
introduce
understand.
yourself for the record, please.
Yeah, no,
Rose, we didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I said, Ms. Bump needs to just obviously get permission from the chairman to address, but then introduce herself for the record so that you all know who she is.
Okay, go ahead. Proceed.
my apologies, everyone. I know it's awkward with the virtual component. Good morning. Obviously, I'm Coulter Bump. I represent the school district, and I just thought I could add for clarification some details around, and I even have the application and was able to forward it to you this morning, Rose, for the subdivision piece. But Bree, if you could just be clear, I believe we're talking about the Rayer property, correct?
correct.
And that's the only one, as far as I know, that you're
Well,
seeking the subdivision
Right.
for, or excuse me, that you're seeking the
Yes.
rezoning so that you can subdivide.
Right, well, we did want to get both properties rezoned. We technically don't legally have to, which we said all of this at,
And
multiple times.
The other property is our school district property?
Correct,
Okay,
because it was zoned for agriculture
Right.
and you don't technically legally have to do that, but we just wanted to do it all at the same time.
and I think that's what we need to clarify is what was the application, the first one, was that the Rayer property or was it the school
Right.
district's property that was just approved? And I
It was
think
the-
you said both were in,
Regular property.
okay.
Today was?
Yes,
Yes,
no. That is the only one that I had an application for.
Okay, well, something has come to the past, because they did submit 2 applications at once.
Here it is.
Yeah.
But we only noticed one is the issue. And Coulter,
So
for
we
your
rezoned the Ryer property, not the school district. Which one?
We just did it was the Rayer property, I think that they just reviewed and in public hearing and approved. And
Yes.
that was that's the one that's timely. So
Right,
that's
so
okay.
that's
So the school
fine.
district,
We
if we have to
get
wait
on.
on that, thank you, commissioners. If for whatever reason the application has slipped through cracks, it sounds like it's been at planning. It just needs to be noticed for a later meeting. We would appreciate the opportunity to bring that to you for approval soon. Not as timely as the first one that you just reviewed. Thank you. But additionally, we had our subdivision application in, which I don't believe requires a public hearing. And I don't know how that slipped through cracks for this meeting, but it is something that is of interest to us in a timely fashion too. If the commissioners are able to do anything about that today, Rose, that would be really helpful.
So the problem, Mr. Chair, if it's okay for me to answer her question.
Let's see.
Thank you. So the problem, so I only saw the subdivision exemption yesterday. Yesterday. And so we're going through what the process is, but that does need to go to Planning Commission for approval. And I believe they have a Planning Commission meeting next week. So it doesn't require a public hearing or any of that notice, but if we can get it on the Planning Commission agenda for next week, and then assuming they approve it, it moves forward, then we can add it to the commissioner's agenda, and then they can make a decision. But that will require, just so the commissioners know, that does require a resolution by you all. So I'll draft a resolution for you all to adopt at your meeting. It does not have the same notice requirements. It does not have the same public hearing requirements, but it does have to go through Planning Commission. So if we can get that on the agenda for next week, then I think their next meeting after that, we can have that on. I can have the resolution ready. We can publicly notice it, as we do all of our regular meetings. And so it'll probably just be a week or 2 behind, but still within the time frame. I just they don't get a lot of these, and so we're just working through processes. So commissioners, that would be my recommendation. Is you all don't put it on Planning Commission's agenda, but I can talk to Betty and Doug. We just need to add it to Planning Commission's agenda, assuming they approve it. It'll then move forward in the process, and then we choose.
You froze there for a
Yeah,
minute.
you froze there for about probably 2 sentences worth, though.
Okay. So the process would be putting it on planning. It has to go on Planning Commission's agenda because you did receive an application, so they have to review it. And then they would then forward that, and they have a meeting next week. So I would say Doug and Betty can add it to Planning Commission for next week, and then they can refer it to you all for a decision, which would require a resolution. I would post what the resolution would look like. You all can adopt it or don't adopt it. At that point, you all can ask questions, and then make your decision, and that can go on your next meeting for a decision if you so choose as commissioners. But that's
And just clear, this is the baseball field and the football field property. I'm just making sure that we're all on the same page. The one
No.
next, no. No.
No, it's for it's Rex Ryer's property and
That's what we
we're,
did today, though.
well, we rezoned it. Now we have to subdivide it.
Oh, subdivision needs to go before
Right.
planning.
Yes.
What are we doing about the baseball field then, I guess is my
So
question.
that one technically hasn't been signed yet.
Hmm?
That one,
No, this has been signed, 'cause this is the rezoning. All of this is rezoning.
okay, all right.
So both, just so we all know, both applications were submitted on July 18th. To rezone both.
All right,
So
So
what
what-
do we do about the baseball field rezoning application? I mean,
If I have it, I have to do the public hearing, I have to do all the other stuff like that. I mean, all of it has to go through the same process.
okay,
That I didn't have them on the same, at the same time,
okay.
was, you know.
It's 15 days notice
Yeah.
for publication. So we just need to meet that requirement, and then we can get that rezone done. So two separate issues. So on this rear property, you all rezoned it today. There's a subdivision exemption application that needs to go through Planning Commission and then come before you all. Okay. And then on this second property, the rezone just needs a public hearing, and that needs to be a 15-day notice, and it has to be published in the paper. So the timing really just depends on when you all can get it to the newspaper and when they publish, and then 15 days notice. So we can work on that today and then get that second rezone through the process, because it's already gone through Planning Commission and been approved.
We put it in today, it won't hit the newspaper until 2 Thursdays from now.
yeah.
Yes,
We missed the deadline for next week already.
I thought the deadline was tomorrow morning at 8.
no, it's like Wednesday.
So we, okay, and yeah.
Okay.
do I have to come back to?
Do they need to attend the public hearing for the next one?
Well, the hearing's fine, but do I have to go back to this?
No.
Okay.
Just.
Who has to use the highway independent?
We use the fire station, actually.
No, for a paper, you're saying? Yeah, for newspapers, because she has a lot of bad county publication. You could call Betsy and see.
She had to, it had to be published in the Big County Democrat.
It does.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
that
yeah.
the county had that listed as their legal means of doing publications,
Oh,
so it has to be the Democrat.
They have to have a certificate of circulation or something like that. That's the official paper. Okay,
oh.
then you can publish it in
Okay.
any other.
So
form.
even though the publications, the circulation is quite higher with Kiowa, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just, yeah,
There was,
I'm learning, I'm no newspaper girl.
We learned this in August, so.
Remember, I'm radio and website girl, so.
you hang around after the meeting, there's information we can discuss on that stuff. Anyway, any further business?
We have some public comments if you're.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get to as soon as we found out whether we.
There are 3 of us here from the Glade Water Association, and I know that we need to stick to our 3 minutes, so does anybody want to?
Go ahead.
Okay. When we met on August 21st, we had Miss Dana from GMS Engineering on Zoom, and we are seeking in May of 2026 to apply for a grant for $600,000 for improvements to our water system. But it does require the county to be a pass-through for funds and to sign some HUD forms that we will not be mean to protesters, and that we will rehouse anyone that we would make move out of their house during said water improvements, which we would not be touching anyone's house, but everyone has to agree to do those things. And during that time, that morning, Commissioner Stump, let us know that by the end of October, your commission would, discuss and let us know, your thoughts. We know we're not here at the end of the month, but, we just kind of wanted to let you know, we're still very interested in going after that grant. And Dana from GMS let us know that she would like,
All right.
I don't know if a formal MOU, but just something in writing, if that is a decision that you make, that you would be willing to do those things,
Acts as the past.
act as a pass-through if we apply.
Okay,
If you could have Deanna put together some clarification too on how that pass through would work. Last time when we talked to her, she wasn't really sure on how exactly it would work. Okay, so if we could get those final details, that would be helpful. Okay.
Pass through, okay, do we have any other questions on that issue today? So we're still hoping by the end of the month we can get an answer.
yeah, we have one more meeting this month, so.
Okay. All right.
Last year.
Yeah, I would just clarify that. I think there's some heartburn that some of this has been framed around attaching to the conduit and regardless of whether the conduit comes or not, these improvements needed. The improvements we're looking at might benefit us as well when we hook up to the conduit, but there are improvements that need to be done regardless. So, I don't know if you have a formal opinion as board or individually about the conduit, but I would hope that you wouldn't factor that into this decision.
And forgive me for not being super knowledgeable, but the Board of County Commissioners, I'm saying this with a question mark at the end, has signed off as a pass-through on grants very similar to this in the past. So hopefully that builds some confidence in the fact that it's a workable solution.
Oh, and I had one other question. I was thinking about this on the way in. There is funds in the Colorado Springs IGA escrow. And if you read that paragraph in the IGA, and I was trying to look it up. Water improvement is one of the approved, I think, expenditures from those funds. Would you be open to a proposal for using some of those funds?
More than, it also approved for economic development.
Yeah, there's a paragraph.
Good economic development, so, or make it possible for future economic development probably.
Right.
And, so I think it's something that we could certainly look at and.
So if we made a proposal, I'd
Yeah.
at least consider it.
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
More than happy to. We need, we're getting all these funds, we might as well put them to work.
Right, and it could help, because every time you go for a grant, they want matching, or they want, they want to show multiple sources, and so. It could be used to leverage.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to fund the whole project, but it would help us leverage, get more additional grant funds, so. Just something to think about.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other comments?
Yeah, last time we want to talk about the meter, Doug had sent us
We have to do that.
Yeah, we'll have to do that after. the
Yeah,
meeting.
we don't do it right now. Smart, we only get 3 minutes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Any other discussion or any other comments?
I know that we get so many mini grants through CCOG or CSED, however you wanna phrase that. We as Water Association, if I could put out there that if the county doesn't feel like you're going to have enough mini grant applications, we always have projects where we are looking for a match for. So we will very happily, if you feel like it's getting close to the end of the year, you need to spend find some way to spend those funds. We are your people.
Okay. Appreciate that, so. Hearing no further comments. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Have a motion with you then?
Same.
Even saying to adjourn, meeting adjourned.
If Reagan just